StarCast is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 173 of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast, or as we're calling it today, StarCasts. So, there is that. With me, as always, is Kyle Fergusson. Kyle, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. In the dark up in Chicago. Winter has befallen us all, and, well, hey, at least tomorrow's Friday. But tonight's StarCast, and that's even better.
Yes, the last Friday before Black Friday. Enjoy, you shopping bastards. Enjoy. Joining us today for the second time, we're really excited to have him back, will be the guest for the top of the show this evening, is Jonathan Burton, the man in charge of Carbot Animations. And if you're like, well, what's Carbot Animations? It's that thing that comes up right before those awesome animations called StarCrafts. You know, those really fun, hilarious animations. John here is the creator and animator of all those crazy little shorts. John, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. How's it going?
It's going well. I was really stoked to be having you back on here. We were talking, I think just before BlizzCon, about getting you back on. You're like, yeah, before BlizzCon, that isn't gonna work.
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult to get there for that time. I was pretty swamped with some stuff.
I'm sure it was.
Too much time on the computer.
I have no idea what you could possibly have been working on. I went to BlizzCon. I didn't see anything there that would have made me think that maybe you had been a little busy.
Yeah. There's a couple things.
Yep. So, it's been a big year for you. Last we had you on, you were just talking about going into this seasoned format of StarCrafts, of starting season 2. So how's season 2 been going? Like how is that? I don't know if I would necessarily call it a change, because you were just kind of doing them before, and then you decided, oh God, I need to find a way to break this up.
Yeah, I was a little bit yeah, I remember that now. I was trying to figure out, and I was leaning towards making it into season 1 and season 2 and so on. I went to break it up into seasons because I thought it would keep it fresh with the whole changing the landscape thing, the lava place and everything. But also it gave me an excuse to have a break.
Yeah. Well, a nice clear divide when you change terrains and storylines.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I guess it kind of helps. Yeah, this storyline to continue in a unique way. But yeah, I don't know. Don't want to get arthritis either. So.
Yeah, that's you ever suffer from carpal tunnel from animation, and then you're just like, yeah, I'm like a StarCraft pro, but I'm a master level comedy guy or something.
Yeah, actually, on my way home from BlizzCon, I was talking to somebody who was at BlizzCon, and he gave me a cool little pointer where you can help yourself find out if you're getting carpal tunnel, and also exercise your wrist so it doesn't. At least it softens it up, kind of thing. But I guess you just hold your thumb in your fist, and then hold your hand straight out, and you pretty much do this. As weird as this is right now, but yeah, and it gets right here. If you feel pain there, then
Time for a break.
Yeah, time for a break. But if you do that, which I have been doing, and I don't feel pain there anymore, and so that's a good sign.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you a right-handed artist, sir?
I am.
They seem so rare.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I remember going to art school and just being buried in left-handed people.
Really? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard like left-handers are like 10% of the population, is it not, or something like that?
It is, but I guess because artists are generally more right-brained, that right-brained people are statistically more likely to be left-handed.
Actually, it's funny because I guess if you play hockey, and being in Canada, you play hockey.
It's required. It's
You can't go to school unless you play some hockey. No, but I guess generally, if when you pick up a hockey stick, a lot of kids would pick it up with their left hand, or is it right? Yeah, they pick it up with their right hand first, which causes them to be left-handed because the way I don't know, I can't remember, but usually when you pick up a hockey stick, a lot of hockey players are left-handed because when they first pick it up, the way they pick it up, it ends up being
So like it kind of like overrides them, and they actually
yeah.
young
If
age.
you're right-handed, you might be a left-handed hockey player just because when you first picked it up. But no, I'm right-handed hockey and right-handed everything else actually. So
gotcha.
apparently that's rare to be an artist.
I'm sure it's a
Your
little more
experience, I guess.
I'm just saying, in my limited experience, I'm sure Kyle's already sighing because
I haven't paid attention, so I don't know. I don't know.
I just remember like going to school in Florida, and it was still like even in like the early '90s, kind of the devil mentality with the left-handedness, and that you can train yourself out of it.
What are you saying about my home state, sir? I resent that remark.
I'm saying there's a lot of kooky old people down there.
All right, that I agree with. I saw a dude with like you know like the bald kind of hair you imagine seeing on a clown, where it's perfectly bald in the center and then crazy long curly on the sides.
Sure.
Yeah.
I saw a dude like that with the craziest look in his eyes, with wearing dirty clothes, riding a scooter on the street today, and I was just like, only in Florida would I see this. So there's that. But hey, back to StarCrafts. So we're up to what, episode 23 in season 2?
We are 22 will be this Saturday.
22. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and you're going for before the show we were talking. You're going for 25 episodes a season.
Yeah, 25 episodes, just like last season. Yeah. So this one will be a little bit more. Okay. So the thing you have to understand for last season, I was in school at the time, which was ridiculous. I don't know how I did it. I know I didn't sleep on Friday nights. I actually did not sleep on Friday nights. I would stay up all night animating until 11 or whatever time Saturday, and then release the episode as soon as I was done. But now I'm not in school, so this season finale, I want it to be a little bit more epic, a little bit more cinematic-ish. It's not going to be like a lot of the episodes are entirely based on gameplay. It'll still be like that, but a little bit more, at least a little bit more ambitious, I guess.
Gotcha. I was about to say, so how are you going to compete with, is this going to be on par with the season finale of Breaking Bad? Because that's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's gonna be better.
Okay, awesome.
There you go, man. He's his own salesman.
It's gonna break Breaking Bad. Yeah, there you go.
It'll be Broken Bad. That's what we're going to call it.
Right. That's right.
Do you get messages from either lore nuts who have off the lore that you've created within StarCraft, or like, no, wait, the Marines wouldn't act like that, or people who are just criticizing the way you control units or draw them?
Like, for example, like, oh, they behave this way in a game. You're not animating them that way.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
Okay. No, not anymore. But I remember at the beginning, so before our first show together, I remember the second episode with the Zealot running up in the supply depot. This guy was complaining that the supply depot was supposed to be bigger, and that I made it look like a doghouse. And that one supply depot could not block a ramp.
That's what I love about that's what I really like about the way you handle StarCrafts, though, is, I mean, you clearly have your own style, but the way scale works, it's almost to scale as if you're playing StarCraft. Because the scale is totally borked in the game. I mean, if battlecruisers were to scale, you wouldn't be able to actually see the game board. Like,
Yeah. It's true.
That's what I really liked. Like one of my favorite episodes you've done, my favorite shorts was the Marine Training School. Still to this day, the whole time it's just like, this is really funny. I'm not quite sure where this is going, and then he kicks him out the door, and you notice he was in a barracks the whole time. I'm just like, that is great. Also, that barracks is clearly a TARDIS. It was much larger on the inside.
Yeah. Actually, I remember getting a little bit of criticism for that as well. Some people thought it was awesome because it linked to the Colossus one, and then other people there's very few. It wasn't very many. But then other people oh, you're getting lazy. You're just reusing stuff. And I was like, oh no, I like the way. Yes,
you're tying it in. There's a lore here.
I had no time, but I thought it was really. I like the way it linked up.
Yeah, that's a much better way to, I think, stretch your time. You could have done the Dragon Ball Z thing and just had a still picture for 30 seconds
and shaken and done the lines in the background.
There you go.
Yeah, I could have done that. You go in.
Right? Save a lot of time.
I have done that in an episode with the Nidus Worm in the SCVs. They leap at it pretty much, and they just it's pretty much anime style.
Yeah, but it works there. I was so happy to see the Nidus Worm, by the way. I'm sure, Kyle, you were geeking out a little bit because Kyle's a big Nidus Worm fanboy, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
It was adorable. I love the emotion you can add to just I never thought I could see a Nidus Worm surprised. And it's just fascinating to me that you take something like that and just move things around, but it's still the unit. You added some eyes, you added some, caricature to it.
Actually, I have to say with the Nidus Worm, before I even made it, the Heart of the Swarm opening, that's when I first did it. I don't know if you guys remember, but when Heart of the Swarm was in beta, I had a little art contest to give out beta keys or whatever. And somebody drew a Nidus Worm in my style before I haven't even touched the Nidus Worm at this point. And I really liked it. It was it was pretty much on par to what I would have done. And that actually was, I asked them could I use this? Because this is perfect. And so I tweaked it a little, and the color was it was all pink, I think, in their concept, but I made it brown and purple on the inside.
The big changes.
It was actually from a fan that kind of develops.
That's awesome. It's amazing how much things have moved since we last talked to you. I mean, you have copycat T-shirt makers, you have other games that are being done in your style. And I saw once a complete StarCraft, not StarCrafts, but someone else kind of doing your thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Well, but there was other games, other than StarCraft, that one? Or?
Yeah, the cutification that you have brought to StarCraft is just spreading out.
Really? I haven't seen any other parodies in my style, at least not yet. That'd be cool to see, though.
Have you run into any weird issues like that? Have you had to tell people hey, stop selling that freaking T-shirt, you jerk? Or
no, people have been, at least from what I've seen, people have been pretty nice and honest. Some people ask me, could I make a sign for my school project? Weird things like that. And it's sure, why not? It's there's no, but they asked me anyway, which is that's cool, whatever. Yeah, so I don't know, people have been pretty good, and even other people when I first started, I remember somebody was downloading and then uploading it to another website to make money off. I can't remember, it's Daily Motion or something. I don't remember. But and then a fan let me know. That happened twice now, 3 times. And starting out, and I was a little bit worried, but yeah. So I don't know. People are pretty good, actually. They've been really, really great. So
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Being an artist, on the internet, it gets funky sometimes. So
it does.
Yeah, it's cool to hear that people are being cool about it.
Here, I'm throwing you a link in our Skype chat, so you can take a look at that later. But that's some Dota episodes being done.
Okay, all right.
That definitely reminded me of your style.
All right, sweet.
I haven't seen these either. I'm totally I know what I'm doing after the show tonight. I'm giving someone else traffic. Sorry, John.
So, So like we knew when we talked to you last time that Blizzard just was eating up everything you did. They loved you. How did that like transition kind of happen into like doing it for them and in fact doing the Heroes of the Storm announcement?
Well, they contacted me episode 2 of season 1, which was like,
Wow.
yeah, 3-4 days after I made the channel. So that was pretty quick. It was the community manager of StarCraft, Kevin Johnson, who is an awesome guy, by the way. I cannot say enough good things about that guy. But
Yeah, he's if folks aren't familiar, it's Cloakin on Twitter.
yeah, Cloakin.
He's a great guy. We've dealt with him in the past too.
He's really great. And so yeah, I think it was him. They spotted me through Reddit. Again, Reddit community has been so supportive of my stuff right from the beginning. And so they spotted me through Reddit. I think it was number 1 or 2 or something at the time. And they contacted me, and then they kind of been in contact with me since, but then they kind of made it a little bit more official ever since like the Heart of the Swarm launch, with obviously the cartoon I made and everything. And kind of went from there. But they definitely like. I've gone to Blizzard a couple times, and it was really cool. I got to meet the animators there, which was awesome experience, and kind of see what's going on the inside a little. I got to meet Chris Siggety and Sam Wise and all the Blizzard guys. And it was a really cool experience just to meet them as well. And surprisingly, how supportive they are of my work, which is it's funny because it's like fan of their work, but yeah, so it's been quite a journey, quite an experience, and definitely no complaints, that's for sure.
Well, you bring your own style to it, but it's got to be daunting walking in that room and just the art that you stared at from when you were a little kid, or just like the high concept art. Yeah, for sure. Like, and just like the stuff, like, because I lately, because of what I'm doing, I haven't been able to practice like my actual style, what I do in illustration, and like Photoshop and stuff like that, and just seeing what they do for concept art and stuff like that, or 3D even, it makes me like, oh, I want to do more of that. Just need to find the time.
Yeah, that's so. Like, you say your own style. Is it more? I wouldn't say realistic, but is it more detailed? I guess I would say. Is it less stylized?
It is. It's much less stylized. I guess it's a little bit of a. It's not super realistic, but I like a little bit of realism to it. But I guess a little bit of comic book. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
I do tend to lean towards a little bit more realistic side. If I were to aspire to any like concept artists, I really like the Assassin's Creed ones, which I think are.
Oh man, have you seen?
They're so good.
I promised Kyle I wouldn't get too art nerdy on this show, but it's just gonna happen. Have you seen? They just released. Oh geez, Are you hearing that? That was weird.
No.
But just a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, they just put out a lot of the production art for the most recent Assassin's Creed, and there were all these like underwater shipwreck concept paintings.
Yeah.
They're just killer. Have you seen those yet?
I haven't. The last time I was kind of looking at one is not the newest one. The previous one is 3, I think.
Yeah, just Assassin's Creed 3, the one that was
with
during
the Native American stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I actually don't. I love the game, but from afar, I don't even play. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't really play console games, but I really like the game, and yeah, especially the one, I don't know if you remember, he's like running at the camera, I guess you call it, and there's like all this smoke and gunfire and everything happening around him and behind him. You know what I'm talking about? He has a tomahawk in his hand.
I think I know the one you're talking about. They did a lot of different. I remember seeing a lot of different paintings, kind of.
Yeah,
in that
The
style.
Assassin's Creed guy likes to run too.
Yeah,
I found this out.
He loves running.
I guess not too serious, but I just like the realism to it, but at the same time, the just a bit of the kind of comic book stylized. It's not completely realistic. It has like a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, a lot of the Ubisoft artists have this real kind of painterly, and their gestures are nuts. Like I don't These guys clearly must have just spent years figure painting, because they get these crazy gestures with. I don't know. I love looking at their stuff because it's like, holy crap! If you really look at it, and like, there's a face with like 4 marks, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine what I first heard you say, which was finger painting, is what they do.
No, but sure.
With
Why not,
chocolate.
Kyle?
With chocolate.
Look at their
Awesome,
fingers.
awesome stuff. Yeah. The Ubisoft guys and the guys that work on Guild Wars, their artists are insane too.
Yeah, I do like that style too. Actually, it's a little bit stylized at the same time realistic.
Yeah.
That's another. Yeah, I do like theirs as well.
Yeah. So if people are out there wondering like what we're into, just go buy the Guild Wars art book. It's insane. And if you can find it for under $200 because they don't make the damn thing anymore, let me know because I want a copy. So you did the heart of the swarm. This is why they shouldn't name something else HOTS. When you did the Heroes of the Storm, like name announce short, they announced like the name change, which is also like the game has been severely overhauled since the last time we've seen it. With your videos, so clearly you're working on this before anyone else outside of Blizzard knew. So what was that like? Were they? I don't know. Like what was it like working on something that clearly everyone on the internet would love to know about, and you're just like, I'm the only one that doesn't work there that knows about this. This is awesome.
Well, they actually got me to play a bit of it first, so that was awesome, and it was still like. When it kind of came to like the menu side, and I was only playing with computers for the first bit, and it was very very primitive when it came to like setting up the computers, like on the enemy computers and everything, the allies and everything, and then playing was pretty much the gameplay you saw now, but and I was able to get to play with some people as well a little bit later, but so I got to play it, which was good. But doing the name announcement change, I didn't like at all, because the reason was because I felt it was too big for me, kind of thing. Because it's all 3 franchises coming together, and only one of those franchises really knows who I am, StarCraft community, and the other 2 don't. So announcing a name change with Heroes, it felt too like big shoes to fill kind of thing. And I know it wasn't the biggest thing, but it was intimidating. And so I felt extremely uncomfortable, and I felt like people won't like it, and stuff like that. And like it was a little bit awkward as well, because it was like I have to animate a name changing 3 times. You know what I mean? So it was very awkward for me to do that, and very uncomfortable. But it turned out I was pretty happy with it. I wasn't like super happy with it, but it was tolerable enough for me. But yeah.
Well, you have a rabid fan base that immediately defended you the second it happened, but it was shocking to realize as StarCraft fans, and of course, we see all your stuff, but to make that transition, have the WoW community certainly look at it, and everyone's just like, what is happening? And who is this?
Yeah. That's. I was interested to see that. I was very interested to see that, but I was also, pretty scared.
I'm sure. That's natural.
The majority of what I read, I loved that too. It was fun. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see people's reaction to someone that we're clearly very familiar with. But I still think a lot of the reaction was insanely positive. People were just like, holy crap, this is hysterical.
It was.
Who the hell is
more
this?
positive than I thought it was going to be. So that's definitely good.
Yeah, it was good. And then the short that you did a second short that they showed at BlizzCon during the Heroes of the Storm panel, which I loved. I thought that was great, especially big Arthas and the Lich King is like my favorite Blizzard character, like period. If I had to pick one, that would be, and I'm really nerdy about it. And I hate that Kyle has Frostmourne and I don't. He has a replica of Frostmourne leaning up behind the wall.
I see it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the actual like metal replica?
Oh yeah, no, it's huge. It's back in the distance.
How'd you get that? You can buy that?
Yeah.
Yeah, his girlfriend, his now wife, got it for him quite a few years ago.
That's insane.
I can't reach mine without showing everyone the ugly boxers I'm wearing, but I've got a replica lightsaber that my girlfriend got me over here. in that
Just as
direction.
good.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Mine would shatter it. No, that is if I could even lift mine, so it's cool. I don't know if I could wield it anyway.
Yeah, so I was really stoked to see that new short with the heroes that we know and love.
And just
kind of showing up.
As a MOBA fan, I loved Arthas just sitting there taking arrows to the face, not knowing what's going on, because it's really what it feels like sometimes. When two characters just, and then Clank, I hit you, Clank, you hit me, and
Yeah, it was fun to do. It was definitely like, because I was actually, dare I say this, I was getting a little bit tired of doing StarCrafts. Just the repetitive, I don't know, because I try to pace the characters, and so a lot of times I'm doing the same characters. I try to pace like new characters coming in, kind of thing. So it was a good change for me. Like the color palette was all different, and the scenery was all different and stuff like that. So that was a good, like, because sometimes a change is as good as a break, right? So that was a good little break for me for StarCraft, from StarCraft, but and the characters as well, doing different characters like the Lich King was fun, and all the other ones was awesome, and I was really excited to do Diablo coming out of the ground. But yeah, that was also because it was unfortunate because Blizzard asked me to do 3 animations all within like a month and a half, which I mean I was happy about doing, but at the same time I was like, oh, I'm really like it's all going to be rushed in some degree, and a pretty crammed schedule, and so I did have bigger plans for that animation. Not like, I mean, an extra maybe 20 seconds on it. I wanted to do a bit of more of like a fight going on, but Diablo was going to eat Tyrael, just pop in his mouth. Yeah, I didn't end up having time doing that. But in the end, I was actually really happy the way it turned out, and I was actually in the crowd when they showed it at the Heroes panel. I had no idea when they were showing it, but they showed it at the end. Again, that was awesome, huge flattery. But they showed it at the end, and I was in the crowd, and nobody knows what I look like. So I was just sitting there, and I heard
They
people
do
laugh,
now.
and it was great. It was great. It was just really cool to be right there when that feedback was happening, that reaction, and yeah, it was cool.
That'd be awesome, man. That was, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm almost positive that was the only panel that you and I actually went to together.
I think so.
I barely saw you the whole weekend, and we're
a giant con.
Yeah, Kyle and I play a lot of Dota together, so we were quite excited to see Blizzard's MOBA.
Yeah.
Or at least what the hell had become of it, because I feel like every year I go to BlizzCon, I'm like, all right, is this the year we get it? Nope, new name change, new map. All right, what about this year? No, new name, new map.
I can understand how that must be maddening. You got to sit there, so you have an idea that's going to take you 2 minutes, but to draw it, all that time to draw it, while you're doing that, you're probably having ideas all the time, and whatever story you have in your mind for the future is going further and further and further away, and you're like, can't I just like have the pictures appear and just catch up to where my mind is?
Yeah, that'd be nice if I could just animate through my mind.
Right? Astral projection.
I can't wait till that technology comes out.
Screw
So
the
much
craft and the
easier.
technique. We just think it and it happens.
Yeah, it is a lengthy process to actually carry it out. It takes all week. Sometimes it can take shorter if everything goes well, but a lot of times the animation might take 20 hours, might take 30 hours, but sometimes like I do the kind of storyboard kind of thing, and then but sometimes throughout the storyboard or while I'm animating, I just go, this is not working the way I intended it to. It's not reading as well as I thought it would. And so I sit there for like an hour, just like, what would be funnier? Kind of thing. So I don't know.
That sounds like quite the rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah. It's pretty. Sometimes it's pretty stressful, but I just need to take a step back and be like, wait a minute, this shouldn't be stressful. This is fun, kind of thing.
That's a good point. Have you have you thought about maybe continuing with Hero Shorts, or at least when that game comes out, so you kind of have more I guess it would be
definitely.
pretty hard to keep it going if the game's not out.
Yeah, obviously I'm gonna have to wait till the game is out, because I think the strength of StarCrafts in particular is well, people can say, "Oh, that's so true," kind of thing, or "Oh, I've experienced that," or "Oh, that would happen," kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so if that was one of my fears with doing it with Heroes is like people never played it, so how are they going to do that? But I guess they understand MOBA games, so they understand to some degree, and they also played, say, Warcraft 3 or Diablo or whatever, and so they understand the abilities and what the characters do. So they, for the most part, can put together and understand what's going on and laugh at it that way. But I think if I did any more, people wouldn't, the vast majority of people wouldn't get it until it came out, kind of thing. So I think, just like Heart of the Swarm, I waited till it came out to start doing Heart of the Swarm stuff. I'm going to wait with Heroes as well.
Cool. That's awesome. And I totally get the point you're talking about with people being like, I get that. Because when I saw, I think my favorite episode this season was Unavoidable. Was that the one with the Void Ray?
Yeah.
That one. I was dying. I have a buddy of mine, I haven't played with him in forever, but we used to play StarCraft all the time when StarCraft 2 first came out, was big into Protoss and like Brood War and stuff. He works for DreamWorks as an animator, actually. And I sent it to him, and I remember texting him like, you have to watch this. Because it's like, it was my opinion of the Void Ray just summed up into an awesome little animation. So good job on that.
Dragon Ball Z, a little bit of Dragon Ball Z in there.
just a tidbit. So I guess like with this season, we're talking about all the different units you've shown this season. Do you have like a favorite that either, I don't know, from the concept stage or in the execution?
For this season, like the new ones I've come out?
The new units we've seen in season 2.
So yeah, there's the Void Ray. Actually, I'm going to kind of reverse that question. Not reverse, but one unit that I do like, but I don't feel that I've given it justice is the Swarm Host. There's only one episode with him, and it was kind of a smaller episode. I remember being rushed and like strapped for time that week, but I do want to show his personality more, because I think his personality really works well. But one that is my favorite, I'm trying to think of all the ones. Yeah, the Void Ray, I did really like the Void Ray one, because he wasn't even shown in season 1. What else have I done? I can't even think right now. There's the Hellbat and the Widowmind and the Viper. I haven't really focused on them too much, eh? They've been a part of it, but I haven't really focused on them too much.
I totally get that. I mean, when you're doing something on such a schedule, you're just like, I just have to do this. Like, I mean, we've had so many interviews on this show, and someone's like, oh, I really like this one interview with this one guy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember being really nervous for that, but I don't remember a damn thing on that episode.
Yeah. I guess they haven't been like they've been around a lot in each episode, but they have never been too much the focus. Like the Viper didn't have his own episode. The Swarm Host did. The Viper didn't. And the Hellbat. Oh, the Hellbat did. The Hellbat did have its own episode.
I like the Hellbat one. That was good.
And the Widowmine didn't really have its. It kind of did, but it didn't really. It's been in a couple, but yeah, I don't know. I guess the Reaper changes were in there too, but
yeah.
So I don't know. I guess out of the units that I haven't shown in season 1, probably my favorite would have been the Void Ray one as well. Blasting away. I guess I didn't do. No, wait a minute. The Archon. I did not show the Archon in season 1.
Oh, geez, yes, that was quite the setup.
I think that episode I had the most fun creating. I actually did that in I pretty much did all the animation side in about one day, because I had so much fun making it, and I was picturing it for so long. I had that episode in mind since near the beginning of season 1, but I was just waiting to do it in the right time to do it. And that one flowed really, really nicely, really well, and I didn't have to think too much, and it just came together all in one day pretty much. So I think that would be my favorite. Archon.
Great.
There's the long answer. Short answer, Archon.
we don't like short answers on this show.
Yeah.
We like story time. So we only got a few more weeks, I guess, then for season 2. What are you thinking for the next season? I'm assuming you're trying to line this up so you get a nice break over Christmas and all that jazz.
Yeah, it'll be a bit of a break. One thing that really sometimes kills me and my episodes, like you notice sometimes in episodes the backgrounds are very plain, and sometimes they're a little bit more done up. Is when I don't have the time, I don't get to put in everything I want to, or don't get to make the smaller changes that I want to. So I want to make sure I can get ahead 5-7 episodes before I start season 3. So I'm not doing that. I'm not stressing. I'm not rushing them or anything, because even though I was not in school this summer when I started season 2, I thought I was going to go to school because I was planning on it, and then I decided not to right before, like a week before school started. But somehow I ended up in this place where I was doing it the week of, which I can't stand. I hate it. But so there's a lot of pressure. But so I don't want that to happen next season. But there are plans for next season. There will be mirror matchups.
Nice.
Oh man, I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, there will be mirror matchups. If you notice at the end of a couple of episodes, if you guys watched it to the very end, there was an infestor neuroparasiting a probe and then an SCV. And so pretty much the infestor is going to make his own army.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big part of season 3. But season 2 will end with a pretty big finale as well, which it's a little bit more what's the word? Oh no, forgot the word.
Well,
but a little
we'll
more
just throw-
ambitious. There you go.
Ambitious. Okay.
You can just start throwing words at you if you
more
need it.
cinematic and but of course a lot of fun as well. So I might have to hold off like a week for the last. It'll be a 2-parter, episode 24 and 25.
Oh snap.
Yeah, so I might have to, because I want to do it right. It might be a little bit delayed, just those 2 episodes, but it should be a lot of fun. So that's kind of what's going to happen at the end of this season, and then the break, and then the beginning of season 3. But in the meantime, between the seasons, I'll probably, do things here or there that don't fit in the storyline, kind of, I guess. So
Awesome. I'm seeing a Smash Brothers poster behind you, and now I require a Smash Brothers short.
yeah, it's I've never hung that up. I don't know why. I guess there's no place in the. I'm in a loft, so it's like, as you can see, the ceiling behind me is like.
Yeah, it's vaulted.
Yeah, there's no place to put it up. So. Let's see.
Awesome. Well, that's
Hit my head on that every day.
I can't wait to the new one.
Yeah, that'd be good. So anyway, did you ever thought about, like, I don't know, working in, and maybe this is just watching your Heroes of the Storm short leaking through. You ever considered like having an episode where we've got like Kerrigan and Jim doing something ridiculous, like you bring in actual characters from the lore?
Yeah, the campaigns. I was thinking about doing. I don't like to do it unless I feel really inspired or need to. Like I have a lot of ammunition for that kind of thing. But and there is some, and I'm sure if I paid attention to it, it would all just come to me. But I don't know. I think so far this seems to be the right way to go. But I could see that happening eventually at some point or another. Just do like the storyline, or maybe do every single cinematic the way I did the Heart of the Swarm one. Kind of mock up that or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I want to see like Jim and Kerrigan go on a date or something.
That's a good idea.
But Kerrigan's infested.
Sometimes it's just some thoughts. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Go to
Candlelight dinner.
That'd be
In,
fun. Make sure it's like a Dominion
Paris.
controlled place too, so everyone's doing double takes.
That's good.
So, yeah, cool stuff. So, anyways, I guess before we let you go, where can people find you? Anything else you'd like to promote?
Well, okay, so probably a little after season 2 ends, or maybe even before it ends, but it'll probably be after. I will be doing other parodies, which is something I'm going to start letting people be aware of. So it won't all be StarCrafts on the channel, and so hopefully people don't get too upset.
Completely reject. No.
Yeah, StarCrafts will continue as usual, but now that I'm not in school, and I'll finally have like that break, just to I'll get ahead, but also do some other things that I'm dying to do as well. So there will be other ones, and you can expect all the Blizzard games. And you can expect Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike is hilarious. And also, I kind of want to do Chivalry, just because it fits the slapstick humor. Like, Chivalry is such a clumsy game sometimes.
Yeah. No, I'm
You
feeling
swing and you lob off your friend's head by accident. So I feel like it would fit it perfectly.
I've never played that game.
Sorry?
Oh,
I've never played Chivalry.
It's good. It's
yeah.
actually kind of frustrating because it's kind of realistic, but it's good. It's fun. It's fun.
I can already see in my mind just the two guys saying their shield raise.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there's that. They won't be as like consistent. Obviously, they'd just be like here or there kind of thing when I have the time. But pretty much any game that I play or have a passion for, which isn't.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Do we lose him?
I guess we lost him right before we learned what he was passionate about.
It's a great face he's making if you're watching the VOD or live. That's good. Oh no! It says he's still. Oh nope! There he goes.
Oh,
there he goes. Sorry, live card. We'll try and get him back so he can finish his thought.
most certainly.
Right when he was talking about being passionate about something.
I know. We can't have passion on this show.
Skype, you're killing it. You're killing the show, Skype. Oh, it's a shame. Is that a Tampa Bay Lightning shirt he's wearing?
Could be.
It's the Lightning logo.
I couldn't tell you. The only reason I know what Blackhawks look like is because it's shown in my face every day. Oh, okay, he's in the chat here saying what happened.
He's typing.
Oh.
I'm trying. Oh no. This is busy. Busy.
Would you like to try re-inviting the call or something wacky like that?
I can certainly try it.
All right. Banish me.
I will banish you.
Oh, it's on mine.
Hello?
I think it worked.
Okay, there we go.
Hooray!
All right. Let me put my camera on again. Where did I end off?
You were talking about why is everything so need premium Skype to make a group call? Skype is failing on me hardcore.
And why am I like in the dark? Both of us are in the dark right
It's
now.
saying
Yeah, I see that too.
it's saying I don't have Skype Premium, but which is a lie because I do have Skype Premium. So, what the actual shit is going on?
The fog has rolled in.
The fog has. You know what? We're doing it live.
Yep, just roll it, man.
You guys can hear it, and more people listen to the podcast anyway. So do. Oh no! Now I have no video whatsoever.
Mine just.
Skype.
Mine.
Fail Skype.
Yeah. Mine just turned itself on. Okay, there we go.
Okay, you can see my Halloween costume.
Is that a Tampa Bay Lightning shirt?
Yeah, for some reason I had that. I don't know where it came from, but I had that shirt.
Let's say I was like, I'm pretty sure I recognize that logo.
Yeah, it's Tampa Bay Lightning.
See it every time I go to Tampa.
Yeah.
Well, we lost you mid-sentence, and we were learning what you were passionate about.
Oh, okay. So I said Chivalry. I said Counter-Strike as well, and pretty much all the Blizzard games. And yeah, I said pretty much like I don't play too many different kinds of games. So I usually I have this weird thing where I got to commit to the game.
Sure,
like it's my girlfriend or something. And yeah, so those games that I do play, I have a huge passion for and I love. But yeah, So yeah, those are some things you can expect in the near future. But my YouTube channel is youtube.com/carbotanimations. Facebook is facebook.com/carbotanimations as well. And then my Twitter is the same thing, except with the S at the end. So it's twitter.com/carbotanimation, no S.
One too many characters for the Twitter.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
I guess you can apply for an extension in your characters, but then you have less characters to tweet with. So
Yeah.
there it is. It's no good.
What a twisted world we live in.
Yep.
Yeah. Won't even let me have the S at the end.
Jerks. So, well, anyways, John, it was great having you back on again. We'll definitely check in with you sometime. I don't know. We'll have you on before season 3 or after season 3 starts.
Sounds good.
Sweet, John. Well, you have a good evening, and I'm glad Skype decided to let you finish your statement.
Awesome. Actually, just one more thing, because I saw someone ask what happened to Wildcraft. That is coming.
Oh, you're doing a WoW?
Well, he just said all the Blizzard games. Come on, I assume.
I didn't say all of Blizzard games, but
Yeah,
someone
but
asked that particular. That is coming. Same with the Diablo parody.
Oh, I am such a Warcraft fan. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it was going to happen a while back, but some issues happened. Didn't work the way it was. I was planning it to, and then just time got short and less time, and yeah, so it just didn't happen. But now that it seems like it's coming in motion, that it is going to be happening. It looks like things are starting to unfold, and so you can expect that. Not too soon, not like within the next month or anything, but in the next couple months, I think, is a good prediction.
All right.
So yeah.
Very cool. I'm glad that you stopped to inform us of that, because now I'm just going to be just sitting around waiting for that. So. Awesome. All right, John. Well, you have a good night. Everyone, make sure and go check out Carbot Animations on YouTube, because if for whatever reason you're hearing this and you've never seen these animations or anything, you're missing out. It's I think one of the brightest gems that have come out of the StarCraft community since Wings of Liberty came out. So go check it out. All right, John. Keep warm up there.
I will.
All right. Have a good one.
Cold to Canada. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
See you,
guys.
John.
Have a
Take
good
care,
night.
man.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Sweet.
It's just you and me, Kyle.
It's just us, man.
Just us. No one here but us chickens.
You know, the internet is this big wall where just like content just continually comes up. And it's very refreshing to hear that a man who works as hard as he does and is so consistent weekly with putting out his animations, that he still struggles to get them done and finding time in the day. Because you just look at anyone and you're like, God, how do they do all this? How do they get anything done? And you're like, well, they're human like everyone else. And it's nice to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lord knows we go through similar stuff quite often.
Yeah, well, one of the sanest things you ever sent me was it was an interview with Conan O'Brien on The Nerdist, was it?
The Nerdist. The Conan O'Brien episode of The Nerdist is, I think, one of the greatest, I think just interviews, period, but definitely one of the greatest podcasts I've ever listened to.
It is.
As someone who does consistent content.
Yes, it is inspirational, but completely based in reality. And that is what's so wonderful about it, because you just hear all these stories like, well, you know, I woke up one day and I was famous. And it was so great to hear a guy who's worked hard to get there.
Yeah, it was so refreshing to hear someone who I at least very personally have a lot of respect for and really enjoy talk like me when I talk about getting a show together. We do the show every week. There's episodes you go into them and you're like, this is going to be the worst episode ever. There is nothing to talk about. The notes are completely fucked. I don't know what we're going to do. And you just plow through and you just do it. And sometimes you get these emails of people like, that's my favorite episode ever. And you're just like, what?
What, really?
Do you have functioning ears? Yeah, go check out the Conan O'Brien episode of The Nerdist. Really good.
I'm excited to see some Diablo stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
I think, well, basically everything he talked about there is ripe for parody. I mean, He honestly goes up in like South Park level parody for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude, could you imagine? I know we get flack sometimes for WoW talk on a StarCraft show. Could you imagine if he was doing that when WoW first hit the scene? Like, all of the days of like, looking for 39 guys from Molten Core. Like, the parodies you could do with that. I mean, clearly, I mean, the game still has, 7+ million players. I'm sure when the new expansion drops, it's going to shoot back up again. There's clearly a community for this. There's an audience for that type of stuff still.
One of the most basic but my favorite form of comedy is pointing out the obvious and how ridiculous the obvious is. And years of WoW have brought in so many ridiculous things that we now just take for granted. In fact, other MMOs, when they're making them, go, well, of course we have to have, bag space. Well, of course, why not? That's required.
Yep. So, looking forward to it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about some news this week. The big news is that WCS 2014 has had its details released, at least some of them. Nothing so far on dates, which little whatever. Slightly disappointed in that. I really want to know when this is starting up.
Yeah, we want a calendar right now. And last season, things just kind of was like, the finals happened and then it was over. And in fact, while I was looking at last season, there was even some really weird overlaps where season 2 started before the American finals had finished because Korea was, ready to go. So this time we're looking at 10-week-long seasons, broadcasting only 2 days a week. So sanity has landed, and with an actual break in between for some real other tournaments to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not even the thing I'm most excited about. I like the restructuring of how they're going to be showing this, that it happens in a linear format as opposed to simultaneously. We're going to be having the Challenger League take place before Premier League even plays a single game.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be awesome. I'm trying to think of the more boring things to talk about before I jump into the obvious things that we're very excited about.
No, but that is important for the story, because then we get to say these people are moving on to Premier League next season. And of course, it is always kind of anticlimactic to get into the Challenger League after the fact. You're like, well, I just watched what was the best games of that season. Why would I tune in now?
Right. Well, also, the top 16 of the Challenger League feed directly in to the round of 32 Premier League.
Oh, for that season?
Yeah. You've got the regional qualifiers. Sorry. Regional qualifiers, and you've got the top 16 moving to the Challenger. The bottom 16 in Challenger drop out. They're eliminated. Sorry. I'm looking at this. Yes. Bottom 16 are eliminated. Top 16 move to the round of 32. The bottom 16 of the round of 32 move into next season's Challenger League. Then I'm assuming they're having another group of... So every season, there are going to be these qualifiers so that 16 new players have a chance of getting the Challenger League and then also moving into Premier League.
Right. I mean, that's one thing that makes it so much more interesting when you know what's actually on the line. Outside of money, when you're in the thick of the tournament where there's no money being tossed around, to know that someone's either up or completely out can really increase the interest in a game. So that is awesome. They are embracing the Code S, Code A sort of format.
Right. It's also going to be really cool because we're going to have that storyline where we've got that dude who goes into the qualifiers, somehow makes it into the Challenger League, then somehow makes it into the Premier League. Like, that's going to be an awesome story to see.
Right. Yeah. For them just to have a through line that can take less than 10 weeks is amazing.
Yeah. But screw it. We're going to talk about GSL. GSL is back. And I couldn't be more excited. Weren't we? When did we hear that things weren't changing? That it was going to still be the one season the GOM's doing, and the next season OGN is doing, and then back to GOM for the third season.
We haven't really investigated it, but when we interviewed Tasteless,
that's what it was.
He certainly sounded pretty down, And
pretty sure
I'm sure
that was going to be the case again.
I'm sure he had some inside knowledge and was, feeling it, and negotiations were happening, but he was still prepared to say piggyback broadcast again. And I'm very excited that they don't have to.
Yeah, needless to I'm so happy about this. If you've been listening from the beginning, you know we're big GSL fans. If you haven't been listening from the beginning, we're big GSL fans. So
Kind of the one we follow on this show.
yeah, if for whatever reason, if you're new, if you just came in to following Pro StarCraft last year, so all you've really known is the current modern WCS format. Before Blizzard stepped in and WCS became this all-encompassing thing that happened all year round, and we had GSL, which was the major StarCraft 2 Korean tournament before Kespa moved over and all that stuff. And I would still argue, even with Kespa and OGN in the mix now, I would still argue that GSL is the top dog.
Man, it's just listen to you describe this. You're going step by step, but then you say another name like Kespa, and it's like, well, wait a minute. So we have a wonderful back catalog of shows that can help you, if you listen, to get caught up to this present moment where things have gotten a little complicated.
Yeah, if you're confused by what I'm saying, go to Team Liquid, open up Liquipedia, and just type in Kespa and just read it. It'll explain exactly what it is. Anyways, so when WCS happened last year, they kind of attached themselves to GSL. And while it was still technically kind of sort of GSL, it still wasn't. A multitude of things happened. We got Premier League and Challenger League, which really was just copying GSL's format, which was Code S and Code A. Code S being the best 32 players. That was the round of 32 to watch was Code S. Code A was what we now know as the Challenger League. And then the other thing that happened was their prize pool was damn near cut in half.
Yeah.
I think it pretty much was cut in half. I mean, they used to have over $40,000 up for grabs for first place every season, and when Blizzard came in and WCS came in, it was cut down to $20,000 for first place and stuff like that. So this is really exciting, because GOM is exclusively doing WCS. The GSL format is being returned to its former glory. It's exactly what we knew it as. You're going to have your qualifiers, the top 24 move into the Code A group stage, which is 48 players. The bottom 24 are eliminated. The top 24 move into Code S. So you've got 24 new players and then eight players who have already pre-qualified from the previous season. I'm just curious how season one's going to be handled, and so on and so forth. So you go from round 32, round 16, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing I'm most excited about is we're not switching to OGN and their
lackluster.
Yes, subpar, lackluster production in comparison to GOM TV. You know, that whole bit.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you absolutely. And I mean, for those of you that are fans of OGN and all, it seems at the moment that they're going to be switching pretty heavily to League of Legends. Almost from the air around it, seems like Kespa is having some difficulties holding on to StarCraft. Blizzard has really embraced GSL over there, and now with WCS, Kespa really doesn't have a place. So now they're kind of taking on League of Legends, and OGN might be the home for that.
I'd be surprised if Pro League went away entirely, but we'll see, I guess. I'm trying to sound like I'm indifferent, but I'm trying to sound like I'm not biased, I guess is what I'm saying. But I'm biased. I'm very biased.
We paid for GSL, and no insult to those casters or, if you know the production people, it's just we paid to have GSL Korean casting done on top of OGN last year because that's what we follow and that's what we're fans of.
Right, exactly.
So to just have it all in one box, the entertainment and the value of that entertainment doesn't slip for 2 seasons a year. It'll be great.
Yep. The other thing, they're going to have a partial region lock.
Yes. Now, this is interesting for a number of reasons. There have been quite a few reactions from the foreigners being people not in Korea, who have said this doesn't go far enough. But it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Right.
So what we have is, in America, 2 slots only for non-residents, and in Europe, 4 slots only for non-residents. Now, that sounds amazing. Oh my God, we're going to foster the NA scene. To critique that, a lot of people are seeded in from last season, which means this is not really the case right now. And, well, it's still full of Koreans because they won last season and got seeded in.
Right. And we also still have, in America, we have people like Polt, who are Korean, but they're technically residents at the moment. Because he's attending school here. And if you were to lock people out completely by region, Polt would just be screwed. Like, he's like, well, I'm living here. I can't really compete in Korea.
Right, and they realize this is an issue, and mainly because a lot of the sort of mid-tier StarCraft pros from Korea, those are Blizzard's words, please. Don't put those in my mouth, because it's pretty funny to say mid-tier, right? Oh, those were the people competing in Europe and America. They're the ones who took it all and then took the whole season, right? But
SOS was competing in Korea, but Jaedong wasn't.
Yes. Well, and it was just full. Mid-tier Korean is still amazing in the American and Europeans. But what's interesting and what they've done to kind of discourage people from going to other places and encourage the best of the best to not try to seek out like easier matches in other parts of the world is they've increased the prize pool and the number of points that you can win competing in Korea, which is awesome. Because you're basically saying it's the hardest, and it should be worth more.
Yep.
So to put that in perspective here, the Premier League in WCS America and EU is going to have a first place $25,000 prize. Now, the Korean one is $65,000 if you win first place.
So that's even more money than they used to have in GSL.
Yes, absolutely. And that is, that's practically 3 times as much money if you can take that. And well-deserved because it's a much harder tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I don't disagree with this. Plus, technically, since GSL is going back to its original format, it's still completely open. As long as you're a completely sick nerd baller and can make it through the GSL qualifiers.
Yeah.
So, Ben from our show A Move Radio will be very happy about this because he loves survival of the fittest. He doesn't give a flying crap where you're from.
And you know what? I do too. I just want to see the best games. Now, when you're listening to some of the pros' reactions to this, it's tough on them, particularly because these seeded seats. If this was completely like wipe the slate clean, last year doesn't matter, which it should, absolutely, because they were the best of the best and they deserve to have the seeds this year. But in North America, when you're saying you got 2 non-resident slots and then the rest are just seeded, well, then that doesn't leave the room for the NA scene to grow. In fact, if those Koreans continue to perform well in America, they're just going to stay in the American one. It's not going to foster the scene. However, of course, I believe we shouldn't be giving out seeds just because you're a pro player and you're sponsors and you live here in America.
Right. So I'm actually pretty happy with this.
I'm thrilled to pieces, and so is the majority of the StarCraft community here. And with that downtime that we're assuming we're going to have in between, we still don't know the exact calendar, but there is going to be room for up and comers and other tournaments. And DreamHack can have its weekend without being in the middle of another week, and even for streamers, for people who are pro players that make their main living streaming on the site like Twitch, this means that only 2 days a week are you going to be competing with WCS. In fact, some of the huge streamers last year, Blizzard contacted them and said, no, you have to non-compete with this. You cannot broadcast during our WCS.
There was so much weird crap going on with WCS last year.
So to have that compact on 2 days a week, digestible, it's going to be good, and it's going to be great for the scene.
Yeah. From a viewing, personally, I think from everything, I was going to say from a viewing experience, I think this is much more positive. But again, maybe it's just my bias towards GSL, but I think this is a massive improvement. Across the board. We are
absolutely biased, and you could have just increased the GSL pool, and we would have been happy. Hey, they could have just gotten rid of OGN for us, and we would have been happy. So we walk out this just peachy keen.
Yes, quite stoked about that. So. If you're wondering what we're going to be covering the closest next year, it's definitely going to be the GSL.
Sure. And, if they get the storylines right, we could be watching some other places. But currently, Korea is where it's at.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll see.
In smaller news, David Kim, the lead balance designer for StarCraft, you may have heard of him, recently joined the Heroes of the Storm balance team as well, which I believe makes Heroes of the Storm have the entire StarCraft team, because they already have Dustin Browder and Chris Siggety. Like, everyone I've seen in any documentary or any interview regarding the development of StarCraft 2 is now working on Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, David Kim is now required to tuck his T-shirt into his jeans.
We didn't talk about that on last week's BlizzCon episode, did we?
No, I don't think we mentioned it anymore. So a little inside joke for those of you at BlizzCon, but the fashion was rocking there by the devs.
Who does that?
You know what?
Why?
You get away with it if you have suspenders, but that's about it.
Yes, if you have suspenders and you're either oh my god, Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or an Irish ruffian. Congratulations. Stop tucking in your t-shirts. Don't do it.
French baguette, wine drinking, little beret.
Yeah, but that'd be a button down. That would not be a t-shirt.
Basically, if you have a striped shirt, you can get away with it too.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
it's interesting. Of course, this caused all sorts of flame this week. David Kim, you've got too much to work on. Why are you working on that? I highly doubt
they should just not announce anything ever, because did you look at the official forums from StarCraft about the WCS announcement?
I did under the announcement itself. I didn't go to the forum.
Just like oil on fire. Just I don't even know. I don't know. It's ridiculous. The next BlizzCon, they need to have a panel where all of the community managers and developers just get up there and they get 1 free hour to say whatever they want with no repercussions.
The free speech box.
Yes, just the free. Welcome to the Blizzard soapbox.
And
they pick like the top 10 dumbest things posted on the forums and react to them unfiltered.
I assume the company workout room at the Blizzard facility is nothing but punching bags. And there's a printer in there too, so you can go ahead and pop it out, tape it on there. The post that you saw today, and you're like, "Why can't I ban you?"
That's great. I'm excited about this team for Heroes of the Storm, because if there was any question as to whether they were hoping this would be an esport or not, I don't think there's a question anymore.
The chat room did say, by the way, to jump back, that Pro League for next season has already been announced.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Not a full embracing of League of Legends like the winds have been telling me. I'm scrolling through this right now, man. It honestly looks like a lot of these people, most people who are just fans, are excited as hell. The people who are saying, this is terrible, region lock, blah, 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 it's not going far enough, I really feel like they're being sent here by their favorite streamer. That they have been encouraged and riled up. Okay,
I'll give you that. Has Total Biscuit posted one of his famous SoundCloud reactions to this yet?
Probably.
If he has, I haven't. I was trying to find it. I always enjoy hearing his take on this type of stuff, and I couldn't find it today. So
right, his reactions though have become slightly tainted since he began, owning a team. So they're a lot more personal. I listened to his one right after BlizzCon, and he had some great critiques for them, and was eager to know what the changes were. So I have honestly no idea if there's anything beyond that came out a week ago.
Did he mention that he missed a huge misplay in the Hearthstone tournament? Because he did.
No.
I was losing my mind in the crowd.
No, he was very impressed by the reaction to it and how much people got into it, though.
Yeah, no, that tournament was, I think, the biggest surprise of the weekend. I don't think anyone was expecting there not to really be a seat for the finals.
Yeah, it was
for the stream to pull in over 100,000 viewers. That was insane.
It's amazing how popular Hearthstone is, but if you compare it to StarCraft, everyone can get really heady about Hearthstone and then actually have the skills to apply those ideas instantly.
Yeah.
You don't really need to you train your mind, but you don't really need to train your body for reaction time. Though honestly, please do out there. I'm sick of you taking forever. Not you, Garrett, but just people in general.
Well,
when
some
I have
people
my
are just
crappy starting deck.
some people are just griefing that way. Something the community's kind of been getting up in arms about.
Oh, really? Like purposefully taking forever.
People have been just for whatever reason, because it's literally the only way you control in this game.
I'm so happy, but I want this applied to every game I own.
You can't talk to one another, so you can't troll people that way.
Yes,
you can't.
Thank goodness.
Like intentionally do weird. You're so constricted by the rules of the game, and the game is set up to be fast and quick that the only thing you can do is literally wait out your 2 minutes up till the very last second, and then hit end turn, so that you don't get the shortened second turn. So you just if they let the fuse run out.
Yeah.
Their next turn, if they don't do anything, if they have no action, is actually dramatically shortened.
Oh,
so,
if you let it run out, okay.
Yeah, so if like they walk away from their computer or something, you don't just sit there for an hour waiting for them to finish their turns.
Oh, okay,
so
nice.
you can grief by waiting by 1 minute and 59 seconds and hitting end turn.
What a waste. I've, of course, had some fabulous, like, chess games where both of us have been going to the burning wire and just being, like, completely just immersed.
Yeah, I had a few of those today, as a matter of fact. Anyways, speaking of GOM, in even smaller news, GOM TV's 2012 VODs are now free. So if you wanted to catch up on incredibly outdated StarCraft, now's your chance.
It's actually pretty cool. But yes, these are games from 2012, which makes them all Wings of Liberty. I have included in our show notes here, though, a post that we grabbed at the end of 2012, put up on Team Liquid as the best games of that year.
Oh, awesome. So those will be in the show notes. Those will be on amove.tv in the news section once this podcast gets posted. Awesome. I didn't even see that. Really good thinking there.
Yeah, if you want to dig up one that was my favorite and still is to this day, it's Gumiho versus Losira. And, well, you are going back to the days of, like, Mass Brood Lord madness, so I've got a soft spot for it.
I miss it a little bit.
A little bit, not entirely. It was very dry, but it was cool to see the high-tier units.
Yeah. Tier 3 Zerg, where are you?
Gone.
It's gone with the wind. Let's take an email before we end tonight's show. You can send emails to starcastshow@gmail.com. We'll put them on the show. Bishop writes in and wanted to say that, not sure if you've seen this, but I was pretty stoked about it. It's a StarCraft 2 mod of Warcraft. It looks awesome. The dude quit his job to develop it. Tell me what you think. What do I think? I think it's awesome, and I can't believe I missed this. Also, it's on Kotaku, which I read like every damn day.
Well, then you did completely miss this.
Yeah.
I saw this on Reddit about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. This is sick.
Dude, it is very impressive how much power, first of all, that the developer tool gives you for the StarCraft map editor, but just how many models he just straight up imported, and then like full armor. Like, I got myself a shaman to heal my Death Knight that I had out. And these guys are in like a full tier set. They look great when you zoom in. It's a very impressive mod. However, it's not Warcraft 3 or 4, and certainly not Warcraft 3. This is Warcraft RTS Alliance and Horde, which you're only going to find if you search for WAH. W-A-H. It was pretty hard for me to do, but I finally frickin' found it and got to play some of it.
So are there heroes like in Warcraft 3, or is it just like StarCraft with a Warcraft skin?
Oh no, he did a really thorough job with this. It is all the skins, like the work complete peons.
Yes.
You got even the old item looks and the way the boxes are laid out and the mine going, but no, you're not cutting down any trees. When you build a unit, they are always hero units. So you build a shaman to heal your Death Knight that you made at your melee barracks, but it's not abominations and all that.
Well, I'm seeing locations directly out of WoW. Crossroads is here. That is awesome.
Yep, they did a Lost Temple, Crossroads, and Ashenvale.
Oh, I might have to play some of this week.
It's very exciting because Blizzard is actually right now putting together some new technology they're calling extension mods, which is going to allow you to make a mod and then just kind of have it hover in the air and be able to apply to any map. So, no longer do we have to have like a particular game heart featured map that has to then get uploaded. You just make Game Heart and then apply it to any map you get into, or the Carbot maps and all.
Yeah, if our listeners are if we have listeners out there who don't know what the hell we're talking about, Game Heart, it's the overlay or the user interface, like what's the word I'm looking for? Observer user interface. There we go. Can't use words today. That a lot of tournaments, almost every tournament, is using nowadays. The issue with it is that extension mod you're talking about works how I assumed custom observer interfaces worked, but it's not. You hit the nail on the head when you said there had to be a completely custom version of a map uploaded so that GameHeart could function with it. And so now you're going to just be able to have that UI just plastered on top of. You're only going to have one version of a map in existence.
Yeah, it needs some extra information to communicate all that stuff that GameHeart keeps track of. Food Time in the chat makes a really good point. There's no hero cap in this Warcraft Alliance versus Horde mod.
Like level cap?
No, just the fact that you can build as many damn heroes as you want. You are building nothing but heroes.
Oh, okay.
There are no footmen. There's no get your first hero, then you have to upgrade to a castle kind of thing. It's ridiculous. It looks great though. You should definitely try it out.
I will. I'm personally very hands off with mods. I don't tend to like them for StarCraft, but this is something that's definitely perked my interest. So very cool. Thanks for that tip there, Bishop. May you not get torn in half by a queen alien.
Oh man, I love Bishop.
Bishop's great, man.
Yeah.
Then number 3 had to like shove that thing in the side of his temple to get him functioning again.
Is that the same guy who did Davy Jones?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Are we talking Davy Jones from the Monkees or Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No to both. Bill Nighy was Davy Jones.
Right. Who is this? Okay. I gotta find this guy's name.
The only thing I've seen him in are the Aliens movies. So
Lance Hendrickson. Oh yeah, that's a very familiar name.
Yeah.
He's a busy man. He was in Tron, the TV series. What, that happened? Okay, never mind.
Well, it's the Tron, the animated one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that one's supposedly very good. I haven't personally seen it. Nonetheless, anyways, I think that'll do it for another episode of StarCast, Kyle.
Sure.
Want to thank those of you who left us 5-star reviews in the iTunes store. It helps the show out a lot. We're also a podcast. If you're watching the VOD or watching live, the show started as an audio-only podcast, and we still have a big audience on iTunes. So if you leave us reviews on iTunes, if you like the show, it helps the show out a lot. Thanks to James Wigdor. Wigdor. Sounds like some type of creature in Dungeons and Dragons or something.
Wigdor.
Watch out for the Wigdors, Kyle. You don't want to wake the Wigdors.
So it'd be like a mimic that eats your head.
Okay. And also thanks to JC Gist, or Gist. I'm not sure how you would pronounce that. But nonetheless.
JC Gist.
We are not going to have an episode next week because of Thanksgiving. But we will be putting an episode up on the feed of A-Move Radio. We'll be posting our episode of A-Move Radio that we'll be recording Monday on the StarCast feed as well, because we'll be talking about plenty of esports, because the Red Bull tournament is happening this weekend, as well as MLG's first stab at a Dota tournament.
Yeah,
it's looking quite stacked. So as pissed as I am that StarCraft is gone from MLG, I can't not watch it like a petulant child, because I do enjoy me some Dota as well.
Yeah, they really got, well, basically every single team that everyone cares about together. And, of course, Red Bull throwing tons of money and certainly tons of production behind this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I enjoy me some Red Bull StarCraft tournaments, so looking forward to that. As always, StarCast is a production of amove.tv. Bookmark that site because there's awesome other shows over there, like A-Move Radio, which I just spoke of, and The Angry Chicken, the Hearthstone podcast we do. TheStarCast.com is the place to go for our forums, archives, t-shirts, and more. We record Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMoveTV. We are back from the Handsome Nerd, if you're wondering what happened. We have nothing interesting to tell you. We just want to be consistent, get all our shows on A-Move. We've still got a good relationship with the Handsome Nerd and esports management, so nothing really will change. We're just back streaming on twitch.tv/AMoveTV. So
completely undramatic. I'm so sorry, StarCraft scene.
Sorry. You won't see a Reddit story about us anytime soon. Our VODs are on youtube.com/StarCast Show, and you can also catch our podcast on the Frog Pants Studios Ultra feed over at frogpants.com. Our email is starcastshow@gmail.com, and you can call the StarCast line and leave us a voicemail at 941-882-0281. Our Twitter is at the StarCast. My personal account is at Garrett Art. And Kyle, you're at Kyle Fergusson.
Sure am.
Big thanks to Captain Dubing, our production dude who edits the podcast version of this that so many of you listen to. My last pimp of the evening, please go to nomoonart.com. That's nomoonart.com for my graphic design work. I'm always available for freelance, and I love doing nerdy overlays and StarCraft and Dota and whatever game you might be playing work for your Twitch stream. So go check it out. I've got my portfolio up there, and maybe I'll do some freelance for you. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can also find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we followed the fad that's driving you mad. And just yesterday, I was driven mad by Thor. Quite literally driven mad. I have a picture of Wolverine, who is the actor is 6'4", and stupid buff in the most recent.
Hugh Jackman?
Yes, Hugh Jackman. And then Chris Hemsworth, damn it, I found out this week he was 6'4", so I had to print out his picture and put it up on the wall next to those guys in my workout room.
Oh, okay. You didn't explain why you had a picture until the very end there. I'm like, why do you have a picture of a bunch of hunky men in your home there, Kyle?
I know. That's why, man. You got to get motivated. And those guys... that scene where he wakes up, he's like, oh, I need some breakfast, huzzah. And just freaking, like... it's like they vacuum sealed his muscles. It is stupid how buff that man is.
You clearly haven't seen a picture of The Rock recently.
Oh, dude, The Rock,
The Rock eats Chris Hemsworth for his breakfast. That's what The Rock eats.
Well, yeah, but Chris Hemsworth, the Thor has to be a little bit agile. The Rock you run into him and you die.
The Rock is the real life juggernaut.
Yes, yeah, good. I don't know why they wasted their time with the other guy. They should just cast The Rock as it.
Because he didn't have a British accent, which made no sense because he's supposed to be related to Xavier. But
the movie totally isn't for me. But I've kind of been wanting to see Pain and Gain, is it called? Where it's just.
I heard it was pretty damn funny.
I've heard that, and I've been kind of excited to look it up.
Yeah, I heard it was surprisingly good for a Michael Bay film. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You didn't know it was a Michael Bay film?
No.
Yeah, it's a Michael Bay joint. So there's that. Our sponsors before we go are doghousesystems.com, tweakedaudio.com, and sc2quoteoftheday.com. Our code is StarCast. If you use that code, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. That same code gets you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds from tweakedaudio.com. We thank them for their support. Make sure you go grab SC2 Quote of the Day's app. It's on the iOS and the Android store. Just search for QOTD, and you can grab it there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thanks again to Jonathan Burton from Carbot Animations. Make sure you go check out his YouTube channel. And today's Thursday. So if you're listening to this on podcast on the day it comes out, make sure you tune in tonight for the Gamers in. They're having their 100th episode. So big congratulations to Jocelyn and Ryan over there. They've done it. They hit 100, and now they'll quit forever.
Don't spread such lies.
No, not at all. So big congrats to them. Go check that out, and we'll see you guys in technically 2 weeks for episode 174 of StarCast. Have a good night, everyone.
Take care.